Kindness is an important virtue, but without knowing its delicate balance, we can easily become its victims. So how can we understand the importance of boundaries, self-care, and rational thought in our actions and relationships? How can we embrace kindness without hurting ourselves? In this guide, we offer answers to these questions. Stay with us until the end so you don't miss any important information or key points that can help you improve step by step along the way to find balance and find out what are the 4 strategies to prevent taking advantage of us while maintaining kindness. Before we discuss the possible dark sides of excessive kindness, which can disrupt our lives unintentionally, we have to remind ourselves that kindness is not just an essential part of a good life, but is also crucial in our self-improvement. Seneca once said, "A good character is the only guarantee of everlasting carefree happiness." Stoics say that the surest way to happiness is to seek it for others by referring to doing good, to being of service. We have to find the balance of being kind, but it's how we find happiness despite life's hardships. It is how we endured depression, wars, and so much else. We can do good and make ourselves useful. Every person we cross paths with presents us with an opportunity for kindness. They also, therefore, present us with an opportunity to find happiness. As Marcus Aurelius said, "The fruit of this life is a good character and acts for the common good." The answer is straightforward. If we want to feel better today, if we want to find a bright spot in this dark landscape of uncertainty and fear, the solution is simple. Do good and help others. Be of service. Think less of our problems and try to help others with theirs. We'll be amazed at the happiness this brings to us and to them. Delving into the complexities of kindness, we encounter one of its most challenging aspects, the burden of expectations. At its core, kindness is about giving without expecting anything in return. However, in reality, this ideal often clashes with human nature. When we consistently act with generosity and kindness, it's almost inevitable to harbor some expectation of similar treatment in return. This subtle expectation can silently wreak havoc in our lives. For example, we're kind. We give our time, energy, and resources, often prioritizing others' needs over our own. But what happens when our kindness isn't reciprocated or even acknowledged? This can lead to a cycle of disappointment and resentment, subtly eroding our sense of well-being and potentially damaging our relationships. We extend kindness because we believe in the goodness of people and the power of positive actions. Yet deep down, there might be an unspoken hope, maybe even an expectation that others will act similarly towards us. Stoics remind us that the universe doesn't owe us anything and advocate performing acts of goodwill without expecting rewards. They believe that one's inner peace should not depend on external validation. The true value of our actions lies in the act itself, not in the reaction it elicits. However, when we are overly generous or consistently place others before ourselves, it's only natural to expect some form of appreciation or reciprocation. This path of unmet expectations often leads to feelings of betrayal and disappointment, profoundly impacting our mental and emotional well-being. Additionally, when we position ourselves as perpetual givers, we might inadvertently set a precedent where others start taking our kindness for granted. Over time, such dynamics can lead to feelings of being undervalued or used, and the very kindness meant to enrich our lives starts to erode it, creating a sense of ruin. In a world that often praises the act of giving, it's vital to realize that true generosity involves a mutual exchange. It means giving without expecting in return, yet also setting boundaries to protect against exploitation. Balancing generosity with self-care and acknowledging our own value is essential. It's a delicate balance, freely giving while safeguarding our hearts from potential disappointments due to unchecked expectations. This approach ensures that kindness enriches rather than undermines your life. As we explore the intricacies of kindness, we must address a subtle yet profound consequence of excessive altruism, the erosion of personal goals. Many of us face this dilemma unknowingly. When we pour our hearts into being kind and over-prioritized in helping others, there's a risk of overshadowing our own aspirations. Paradoxically, the virtue of kindness meant to enrich life can lead to a sense of self-ruin. Fulfilling our potential is crucial not only for personal happiness but also for meaningful meaningful contributions to society. However, when kindness becomes an overriding priority and we constantly cater to only others, our path to self-improvement can be overshadowed. Assisting others and contributing to the greater good is important, but we have to find a balance that should not come at the expense of losing our path. Sadly, some people have a misconception to equate kindness with weakness. Many kind-hearted individuals face this frustrating reality where their noble acts of kindness paradoxically undermine their personal and professional lives. It can happen when consistently over-prioritizing others' needs over our own can inadvertently lead others to perceive us not as strong, compassionate individuals, but as someone lacking assertiveness. In human interactions, excessive kindness and perpetual agreeability can send the wrong signal, and it can have profound repercussions. Professionally, we may miss out on promotions or challenging opportunities because of assumptions about our ability to handle assertive roles. Personally, it can foster one-sided relationships where our contributions are undervalued and our boundaries overlooked. Recognizing this dynamic is crucial. Stoicism, advocating rationality, emphasizes the wisdom in kindness. If it's necessary, we have to demonstrate that kindness coexists with strength and assertiveness. Balancing compassion with firm boundaries ensures that your kindness is respected rather than exploited. If our path of kindness and helpfulness goes unchecked, there's a real danger of becoming vulnerable to manipulation. If our default mode is to always say yes, to always be the one who steps up, we might unknowingly open ourselves up to being manipulated. This is especially true if our kindness overshadows our ability to critically assess situations. Manipulative individuals, often termed as master puppeteers in the theater of human interactions, possess an uncanny ability to exploit the vulnerabilities of others. They are adept at recognizing those who are more inclined to help without hesitation and see it as an opportunity to further their own agendas. If we're excessively kind without discernment, we can send the message that we're an easy target for exploitation. It's important to understand the value of remaining indifferent in certain situations. This doesn't mean becoming cold or unfeeling. Rather, it's about cultivating a balanced approach to kindness. It's learning when to extend a helping hand and when to draw boundaries for our own well-being. While it's commendable to be kind and supportive, it's equally important to guard against being taken advantage of. This means occasionally embracing the philosophy of remaining indifferent as a form of self-protection. By doing so, we can ensure that our kindness is a choice that enriches our life rather than exposes us to others' selfish intentions. When we consistently extend kindness beyond our limits, the emotional and physical toll can be immense, leading to an exhausting reality that can negatively impact our lives. This is where the virtue of kindness, if not tempered with self-awareness, can become a draining force rather than a source of fulfillment. The physical and emotional effort involved in constantly being there for others can lead to a state of burnout. Our bodies and minds have their limits, and if we continuously stretch these boundaries for the sake of kindness, we can risk our well-being. Symptoms like chronic fatigue, stress, headaches, and even weakened immunity can manifest, signaling that we are pushing ourselves too hard. This relentless giving can also lead to an emotional drain, where feelings of resentment and unappreciation may start to simmer beneath the surface. In practical terms, exercising self-awareness in kindness means learning to say no when necessary, setting boundaries for our time and energy, and being mindful of our own needs. It's about giving ourselves permission to step back and recharge when we start to feel overwhelmed. This isn't selfish, it's a necessary act of self-preservation. By controlling how much of ourselves we give away, we ensure that our acts of kindness are sustainable and not detrimental to our health. This also helps in preserving the quality of our kindness. By not overextending ourselves, we can offer more meaningful support to others. True kindness is a balanced act, one where we give with generosity, but also protect our well-being with mindful self-awareness. By practicing kindness, it's crucial to address how excessive generosity can impact our emotional landscape and actions, often leading to a skewed perception of self-worth. This is a subtle yet profound aspect where kindness either can inadvertently lead to a dilution of our own value or increase it irrationally high, ultimately influencing our emotions and actions in a detrimental way. When we're consistently kind and giving, it's easy to start measuring our worth by these acts. This This can create a dangerous feedback loop where every gesture of kindness becomes a quest for validation. We might find ourselves in a cycle where our emotions and actions are heavily influenced by how others perceive and respond to our generosity. This reliance on external validation can be particularly damaging if the anticipated appreciation doesn't materialize, leading to feelings of rejection or inadequacy, even when your intentions are pure and selfless. This pattern of constantly seeking approval through kindness can also lead to an emotional imbalance. This dependency on external validation for self-worth can lead to conditional self-love. We might start to believe that we're only deserving of love, respect, and care when we're in service to others. The other equally dangerous aspect is that our selfless kindness turns into selfish ego-building. Either it grows an unending thirst for praising by even constantly reminding people how helpful we were towards them, or when our mind loses its balance and pictures ourselves far above everyone else. To break free from these patterns, a shift in mindset with self-awareness is essential. It involves understanding that our worth is not transactional and not solely defined by our acts of kindness. Practices such as mindfulness and self-reflection can be instrumental in this process. Kindness should stem from a place of genuine compassion and not be used as a measure of our value. This balanced approach ensures that our kindness is a true reflection of our character rather than a means to seek validation or define our worth. Part of kindness that often gets overlooked is financial generosity. Being the financial pillar for others might stem from a place of kindness, but it comes with its own unique set of challenges that can impact our financial health and, in turn, our overall life. When we frequently step in as the financial rescuer, whether it's lending money or helping others out of tough financial spots, it sets a precedent. Each time we dip into our financial reserves to assist someone, we might be sidelining our own financial goals, be it saving for a house, planning a vacation, or securing our future. The sacrifices made for the sake of others can delay or even derail our own financial planning and aspirations. There's a fine line between being generous and being reckless. If our assistance involves straining our own finances, taking on debts, or compromising our savings, we should highly reconsider the situation. Being the financial savior can inadvertently create a dependency dynamic. Those we're helping might become reliant on our assistance, which can prevent them from developing their own financial independence and responsibility. This not only strains our resources, but also doesn't genuinely help the other person in the long run. While the intent behind financial assistance is often rooted in kindness, it's crucial to maintain a balance. This balance ensures that our act of kindness enriches both our lives and the lives of those we're helping, without compromising our financial stability and future. Being financially generous is commendable, but it should be done with prudence and a clear understanding of our own limits. True kindness in financial matters involves not just giving, but giving wisely. Navigating the intricate dance of human relationships, it becomes evident that excessive kindness can sometimes obscure the essence of genuine connections. This aspect of kindness, its impact on relationships, is profound and worth exploring, as it can significantly influence the quality and authenticity of our interactions with others. In human relationships, when we constantly occupy the role of the giver, it can create a dynamic where we're valued more for what we provide than who we are. This one-sidedness in relationships often arises from continual acts of kindness that are not reciprocated or balanced. People may start to see only the benefits they derive from us, the assistance and generosity, rather than the person behind these acts. Over time, this can lead to a sort of identity crisis where we're recognized for our kindness, but not for our individual personality, thoughts, and feelings. This imbalance in relationships can lead to emotional voids. We might find ourselves surrounded by people, yet feel isolated and unfulfilled. When relationships are heavily tilted towards our giving, they often lack the depth and reciprocity that mark true, meaningful connections. We pour out endlessly, but what we receive in return is minimal. This can result in feelings of loneliness and a sense of being undervalued or taken for granted. Being the perpetual giver can attract fair-weather friends, those who are present when it's convenient for them, especially when there's something to gain, but absent absent in times of our need. This inconsistency can sow seeds of doubt and trust issues, making it challenging to form deep, lasting bonds. For a relationship to be fulfilling and enriching, it must be rooted in mutual respect, understanding, and reciprocity. Setting boundaries in how much we give and being open about our needs and expectations can help filter out inauthentic connections. It's also important to remember that nothing wrong with leaning on others, seeking support, and expressing our vulnerabilities. This invites authentic connections where both parties can be their genuine selves, free from the pretense of roles or expectations. How can we prevent taking advantage of us while maintaining kindness? First, pay attention to your feelings. The Stoic principle of self-awareness emphasizes understanding our emotions and needs. Recognize when we're giving too much and depleting ourselves. If helping others leaves us feeling overwhelmed, it's time to reassess our boundaries. Second, embrace the word no. Realize the importance of our time and energy. Practice saying no when we're too busy or when a request is unreasonable. This simple word can help us regain our freedom and avoid unnecessary risks. Third, respect our personal time and space. Dedicate time to activities we enjoy, such as exercising, drawing, or listening to music. Schedule this time regularly and protect it fiercely. If someone asks for help during our personal time, politely decline or offer an alternative time. Fourth, choose the people we spend time with. Identify relationships that drain our energy and limit our interaction with those individuals. Focus on maintaining relationships that add positive value to our lives. If you want to know what is the most radical idea in all of Stoicism and how is possible that all living beings are connected, listen to our previous video. The link is on the screen. Thank you for joining us on this Stoic journey. Until next time, may these practices transform your mornings, your days, and ultimately, your life.